And we are joined now by Chief Developmental Officer for Minnesota United FC, Manny Lagos, who we should probably be putting on the payroll right now after all of his visits here with us on Fox 9. Manny, my friend, tell us where you are. What's going on?
Yeah, it takes a village, buddy. So usually, obviously, we knew we have the soccer celebration downtown, which is awesome. This is another local Mexican brewery, La Doña, which is right kind of near my neighborhood. My son and I are watching the game here. One of our owners actually is part owner of this building too. So just excited to kind of take in the vibe. And you know what? Mexico's up 1-0 going into halftime soon.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you want to get back to the game. But yeah, let's talk about it right off the top. We'll talk about Team USA in just a moment here. But like you mentioned, Mexico scoring within the first 10 minutes of the match. They are up 1-0. I know that the place was probably electric down at Stadium Azteca. What have you noticed so far from Mexico in the first 30, 35 minutes?
Well, I mean, again, there's got to be so much nerve, so much pressure on that country to do well, to obviously try to get out of the group. They're playing at Estadio Azteca, world-famous stadium. I've actually gone to several awesome games there live. It's an amazing place, amazing atmosphere, and they've stepped up to it. So it's just a great start. I heard it was a great opening ceremony. I didn't watch it. But again, great kickoff to the World Cup.
You mentioned to me yesterday that you feel that this might be one of actually the lesser talented squads Mexico has had in a while. But do you feel any differently at all through the first 40 minutes after seeing them play?
I think they've definitely dominated South Africa. South Africa's looked a little nervy. Even their goal was kind of a giveaway, a bad defensive. What I see is that Mexico has this passion of their country. They play in altitude, so they're going to always have a home field advantage. And that's just another reminder that this tournament is wide open, and Mexico is very similar to the U.S., can make a run in this tournament.
Yeah, we'll talk about the U.S. here in just a moment. I don't mean to put you too much on the spot, but there is another game taking place here today in Group A later tonight. Czechia and South Korea going mano-a-mano later tonight. What are you looking forward to about that match? Anything the fans should be paying attention to in that match? What stands out to you?
Well, I kind of, my brain goes to the Loons and it goes to MLS and it goes to LAFC has a superstar for South Korea, Son, who used to play for Tottenham Hotspur for years. He is electric, crazy fast, outstanding superstar, the greatest South Korean player of all time, for sure. So watching him tonight against a really good, solid Czech team will be really fun.
Manny, we're just a little over 24 hours away from Team USA kicking off their tournament. We know there's so much excitement and buzz around this team as the tournament gets ready to go for this team. They're going to be taking on Paraguay tomorrow. We've been talking about it so much leading up to this match. Now that the match is about 24 hours away, can you kind of give us an insight on what the players are feeling right now? It's your host country. It's your first match. How do you calm the nerves here going into game one?
Yeah, actually, I saw a really cool kind of Instagram last night of all the guys going nuts watching the Knicks game. Clearly they're maybe a little bit relaxed and enjoying themselves, and that camaraderie and culture is so important for their team. But again, at this point, it's game time soon. I mean, you're really now honing on the roster, honing on the tactics. Again, Paraguay is supposed to have a great defensive team, so it's going to be really about how we attack, how we break them down. And ultimately, anytime you are a host nation, there's so much pressure and stress. So you got to just get out there and be ready to work hard and get through those nerves right away.
That leads me to my next question here, really, Manny, with how good defensively Paraguay can be. But as time goes on in the match, the longer the United States goes without scoring, how much more pressure does that put on them? Do you think they can stay composed and not panic if the score is still 0-0 after 65 minutes? How does that change things for players when the ball's not going in the back of the net?
Yeah, I mean, that's the pressure of soccer, right? It's not about a ton of goals all the time. Sometimes it is, but a lot of it is about every little play matter, every little moment matters. And again, there's 90 minutes for a reason when you say 90 minutes of tough, hard, physical, mental work. And it's so important that they stay organized, they stick to the belief that they can do it and they can have a game plan that the coach puts together that's going to get them the result.
Well, I'm going to go a little inside soccer here, so forgive me for everybody watching. I just want to touch on one thing really quick. The substitution patterns from Mauricio Pochettino, how much are we really paying attention to that? What's going to stand out to you in terms of, obviously it's going to depend on what the score is at a certain time, but what are you looking for in terms of his substitution patterns and the way he might say to you, I know I'm pressing the right buttons here at this time?
Yeah, I think the big thing is up top. I think we have the best history of the U.S. national team, three really good forwards. We have Balogun, who's probably going to be the starter tomorrow. We have Ricardo Pepi. And then we have Haji Wright, who starred in the championship in England this year. All three can step in and get hot and give us something in terms of movement, in terms of pace. So for me, I think right away, if the things aren't going well, That's the first sub off the bench, is seeing how we can get things going offensively. Certainly, Sebastian Berhalter has been a breath of fresh air. He plays for Vancouver Whitecaps. He's been great in the midfield on both sides of the ball, even pushing the attack a little bit. He's great at set pieces, so he's another sub I see if things are not going that well. And then certainly the big move tomorrow will be see if Chris Richards can play. If Chris Richards can play, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, no, that's been a big story leading into this World Cup. I mean, how much emphasis do we put on the United States needing to get the first goal of the match tomorrow?
I think it's massive. I mean, you just saw it here in Mexico. The first 10 minutes, Stazo attack, people going crazy. It just got them to breathe. I think those first 10 to 15 minutes, I think Paraguay is actually going to try to go at us a little bit. I think they're going to try to attack and surprise us and then go in their deep block. So getting that first goal, particularly early, maybe not too early, because sometimes you get too early, that's 90 or 88 minutes of tough soccer. But I think within the first 10 or 15 minutes, we'll just set the tone. The crowd will go crazy. People will get excited about the team.
I want to remind everybody watching that we have 3 players from Minnesota United also representing their countries at the World Cup. Michael Boxall for New Zealand, James Rodriguez for Colombia, and of course Carlos Harvey for Panama. How much pride does the organization take in that, Manny, seeing you have talent on this squad that goes on to play at the highest competitive tournament in the world every 4 years?
It's awesome. I mean, they're part of our family, and we're cheering for them as well. Obviously, I think I mentioned to you, I'm going to the New Zealand-Egypt game in Vancouver on the 21st. It's going to be awesome. And Michael Boxall's our captain. He's a leader for New Zealand. And certainly for Carlos Harvey, it's a big World Cup because he's just getting going with his career, versus James Rodriguez is one of the biggest soccer stars in the world in Colombia. And they have a great team. So it's going to be a fun one to follow Minnesota United players at the World Cup.
All right, Manny, one more time, remind us of where you are, how fans can get involved, and if they want to be part of the action, what can they do?
Yeah, I would say the best bet, I'm at Ladonia right now, Mexican Brewer. I love the soccer celebration, what we put on right outside of Brits, downtown, on Nicollet Ave, outside. You will love it. Free tickets. It's a soccer celebration. I get to be there tomorrow for the afternoon just to be a fan, and I got a podcast out there before the U.S. game against Paraguay. So just a great start to this great 104 games of soccer coming up for a month.
And like we said, Mexico currently leading South Africa 1-0. We were in stoppage time in the first half. We're approaching halftime of the first match of the World Cup. Manny, we're going to let you go. Get back to it. I know you're eager to watch the game. You're the best, my friend. Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate all the insight.
Cheers, guys.
All right.